Our guest made $72,000 from wholesaling a rundown house, and he did 500 deals in the last 8 years while moving every single year to a new city to support his wife, who is in the military. This episode can show you if you want more time and income, wholesaling real estate is a great business model that can deliver if you work the proven business model that's been laid out before you by people like Derek. This is the podcast for 10X in your income and replacing your W-2. My name is David Lecko, and I created a process that's helped people close their very first deal 10,000 times in all 50 states. And my co-host is Ryan Haywood, who's done 425 deals since 2019 when he was like, that's it. I'm tired of my boss cutting my commissions, readjusting things, and disrupting my income that I'm working hard to do. And he took things into his own hands with wholesaling real estate. So Derek, what was your process like when you were working on getting your very first real estate wholesale deal, which you started off part-time back in 2016?
Oh yeah, Craigslist. I was still doing Craigslist. That's how long ago that was. First deal.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Craigslist. What was going on in your life in 2016?
Yeah, so I owned an MMA gym for about 10 years. I had just moved away from where my gym was at because I just got married and wife is active duty Army. And I'd always wanted to get into real estate, started looking up online, and no clue, but you had to become an agent. Got introduced to like what wholesaling was, still had no idea. I used to make offers on FSBOs with no intent to buy anything because reps of talking to people. Looking back, they were all deals and I should lock them up, but I didn't know that. Got a deal from Craigslist, fumbled through it pretty brutally as far as I didn't know what I was doing. Made like $8,000 and I was like, I can't believe this works. So it just went from there, just learning what not to do, and then starting using systems that would obviously driving for dollars and pulling lists and skip tracing, and then it just turned into a machine from there.
Got it. So how much did you make on your very first deal? Do you remember that?
Yep, 8,000. That was the very first one.
Nice. Okay. All right.
That's a good start.
And so you own an M&A gym. Your wife was full-time in the Army, right?
Yep.
So was the problem were you looking into real estate because like did you need to travel for her military, or what was like? Seems like owning an M&A gym might be a pretty sweet gig, right? You're the owner, you collect the recurring revenue. Like what was really driving you to be looking for another option?
Well, we've moved 8 times in the last 10 years.
That's it. Yeah.
I'll move again in another 12 months. And I wanted to build wealth. I like recurring income. I sold my gym off right after I moved on seller financing even. Took my last payment from those gentlemen that I work with, great guys that I worked with right when the pandemic hit. So I knew I needed to transition from something. I knew I had money coming in from the gym, but I needed to transition. And I always loved real estate. I always liked the unlimited potential, or at least I thought. But I wanted to get into fix and flipping. At least that's what I thought I wanted. And so when I was generating leads, I was like, well, this one I don't really want to do it. This one I don't do it. And started wholesaling them. And so we started doing a lot from that. But I think it was the moving, and I had to do it all virtually. But I did it virtually to the city that I was from. So I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. So no matter where we lived, I was always doing deals there because if I talked to somebody, I generally had an idea what the property was worth.
Mm-hmm. Got it. And so have you been wholesaling real estate in all 8 of those locations where you guys have moved?
I didn't do any deals in those cities. I was always just doing deals where I was from because I always had a plan to come back home. So I didn't really want to build something up where I wasn't. I knew Louisville, Kentucky, or Kentucky for that matter, like the back of my hand. I even talked to somebody about it recently. I had a guy call me one time and all he gave me was the zip code and the price. And I said, I don't care what it looks like. I don't need any other information just because you're so familiar with the area.
Got it. Interesting. So you've moved around and you've done it in a certain location where you're very familiar with, and that's worked well. It's actually why I've considered not considered, but continued to do deals in Indianapolis, even though I've been in Austin, Texas for 2.5 years. So I really like Indy and I know it. So that's great.
Must be why you can understand my accent, if you're from Indiana, close enough.
Yeah. So, okay, in 2016, you did that first deal, $8,000, and it's 2024 now. So you've been doing this for quite a while.
Yep. I don't do it alone. On the wholesale side, I have a partner that we do it together. So what I did was that first deal, I found some boots on the ground that we partnered up with, and we just split the deal. He was young and motivated. He could always go to the properties and help with dispo. I do lead gen and acquisitions, and we would work together on that side. And I said, hey, you want to do this again? He was like, yeah, that was great. And that was almost 500 deals ago.
500 deals in 8 years?
For wholesaling. That's not including any of the fix and flips of the rentals.
Okay, wow. So what's your average assignment fee? I know you made $8,000 on the first one.
It's anywhere from like 11 to 13. But I want to be transparent because I'm trying to motivate people. My lowest fee was $20.
20?
It blew up at the closing table where it leans and stuff. The seller's crying. Buyer won't come up. I mean, it was just like it turned into a joke. You're like, if I really just walk away, the seller does get hurt. You take the $20, you laugh about it, you buy lunch. 3 months later, at that time we did our biggest deal. We made $72,000.
Wow. Well, 72,000.
Yeah, it was a multifamily deal. So I'm trying to like say that in context so people that might get demotivated think maybe only their deals blow up, only their situation up. But then, a couple months later, for us at the time in 2018, 72 grand on one deal for multifamily was like launched us into the spectrum, so to speak, for his marketing dollars.
Right. Whoa. Okay. So one of the things that's huge. I was just doing quick math. I was like 500 deals times 8,000 would be $4 million in that 8-year time frame, which is fantastic. But you've even got some that are quite a bit higher. I'm assuming you didn't have too many $20 ones.
No. It's we moved a lot of stuff. I was always about locking it up, get an offer, let's move it. We have somebody who wants to sell. We were really selling it. We had a lot of really quality buyers 2018, 2019 that were really ramping up. So when the pandemic hit, a couple main guys, they had $5 million lines of credit. And we burned that line of credit down as quick as we possibly could with those guys. So it was it was great. Multifamily, obviously, wholesaling multifamily, we did a lot of those deals. They were really, for my area, really killed it in that retrospect. But, it's the highs are highs and the lows are lows in the game.
Hey guys, if you want to quit your job in the next 3 months, make sure you're subscribed to this podcast because we've got some incredible frameworks with step-by-step instruction that you're not going to want to miss. Also, leave us a rating and review to let us know your favorite parts and why you want to get financial freedom.
Yeah. So, all right. One of the things I was wanting to ask you was, how has wholesaling changed over time in the last 8 years? You've been very successful, and anyone listening could really see the potential of this business. You said before you did Craigslist. That's not like something you do now?
My morning coffee routine is Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and Fizbos, which takes less than 5 minutes because it's such a free, sweet deal to see it just sitting out there that anybody can get. I mean, we did an apartment building once off Craigslist like 3 years ago on Thanksgiving, and I think we made 40 grand or something like that. And I couldn't believe it was just sitting there. But I would not run a business model. You can't scale that. You can't that fact. So definitely not making free leads the business model. That's what we stayed away from. Just like, hey, I don't mind spending less than 5 minutes while I'm morning coffee to check this, but really evolving to making a machine doing deals, not just praying and hoping it works out.
How many mornings do you end up finding a lead when you're drinking your coffee and scanning Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist?
Like 3 a year.
Okay. So
it's only a 5 million investment.
Right.
Correct. It's so sweet to see it for free, just sitting out there. So I definitely don't recommend making it a business model. But since we did a few, and I always enjoy, it's almost like some people open a newspaper. I like to open up Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and still Fizbos, because some Fizbos are worth beating up. But no, maybe it's very few a year, but it's free. Like I said, it takes 5 minutes.
Cool. So, all right. What do you do for marketing that does work? You've told us Craigslist works, but you wouldn't recommend it as a full business model. What would you recommend?
Absolutely. So we do a lot of outbound marketing. Obviously, if you're pulling lists and using those kind of systems like DealMachine. So I do a lot of ringless voicemails. I do like in text. I'm old school, so we're doing ringless voicemails, cold calling, texting.
Okay.
I would just because I want to get people's responses. I've done direct mail, I've gotten deals from direct mail, but for me, I like to hear right now what's going on. So we heavily do those systems.
And so you're doing those right now? That's your current marketing method?
I think I just sent out 50,000 RBMs right before we got on the call.
Okay, got it. Amazing. Well, that's why you were actually trying to talk to somebody. When I called you, you said you had to hang up because somebody called you back, right?
Yeah, we're doing an Novation deal. We just put a Novation online, on the MLS. So we're just running, I'm really unfamiliar with doing those. We're learning that. We've got our first, the most motivated seller on the planet kind of deal. So we're trying to run through that.
What are the types of people or properties that you market to that you end up, sending those ringless voicemails to?
So I do, excuse me, I do a lot of absentee owners because I like a really big pool. Because I don't just hit these people once. I mean, once we have a list, we're just hammering them. As soon as they tell me do not contact or it's sold, we definitely take them off the list. But vacants, those type of leads.
What do you think of the unlimited contact info that we came out with back in November, by the way?
Saved me a ton of money.
Okay. What were you paying before for your skip tracing to get these phone numbers from the absentee list?
Yeah, it was up there. I mean, it was definitely up there. The thing about it was really like even when we got the price difference, I was even looking at it probably the way that everybody else looks at it. And the first thing that came to my mind was, this is too good to be true, right? You're saving me 90% the cost or more. And immediately you come to mind, you're like, okay, well, how good is the numbers? I think I even asked the guys, how good the numbers? And he gave me the pitch. He was like, man, this is how we get it. Try it out. I was like, it's worth trying. If I get one, that's what I said. I told my guys, look, if I get one deal from this, it's going to work. And we pulled it. And I didn't have, through text and through RBMs, and that cold caller especially, I said, I need to know how many wrong numbers you're kind of getting from this. And it was equal to what I was already paying with other service providers. There was no getting double wrong numbers or whatever. So as soon as that happened, I went ahead and canceled those other services. And I'm not sure if you're tracking this or not, but I actually have 2 DealMachine accounts with you.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So you can get twice the exports.
That's exact. So I run a double. So I didn't really actually quote unquote save any money. I just took the same money I was paying, and I just doubled, triple, quadrupled on our output because I knew we would do deals. So that's why it was voicemails, so many texts, phone calls, because I can just do DealMachine.
Just to give like a quick math, if you were paying 10 cents per skip trace and you were doing 50,000, that would cost you $5,000, but you could do that with a $149 plan of DealMachine, basically. So
yeah, that's why it's humorous. It's almost, and people will see that and they may be like, "There's no way." And that's what I like for $150. I get one deal a year off of it. In my mind, first deal cost that.
Right.
And once it started working, I couldn't even believe it. My favorite part, though, about the ad, it said skip tracing is dead. I laughed so hard. I was like, way to just embrace that. Because I've seen other people talking about it online. Like, have you seen this? Have you seen that? I was like, what are y'all talking about? And it's one thing to offer competitive pricing or discount prices. The other one just to like hamstring other people to the knees on the discount. So I'm quite excited. So don't change that. That'd be helpful.
Cool. Well, Derek, I know you've got to go pick up somebody from school. I think you said your kid from school.
I got twins and they're homeschooled. And so the teacher leaves in just a couple minutes. I'm going to get them fed.
Yeah. I appreciate you sharing. I mean, this episode is going to tell somebody like the possibilities of being able to travel around and still have a very profitable a business. I love the way you've explained that. Where could people find you on social media?
Yeah. So my very small YouTube channel is called The Real Real Estate Dad. I focus on teaching other stay-at-home dads, military spouses, and stay-at-home parents how to make a real income working part-time even in this business. And one of the number one ways we talk about is actually DealMachine, ringless voicemail, and text. And even doing one deal a month will change someone's life.
Dude, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Well said. I love on brand as the real real estate dad.
Yeah.
Because you're obviously not working so much. You're focusing on being a dad, I assume. And you've been able to use real estate to have a nice lifestyle, but also have some time for your kids, is my understanding.
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks. And I hope you have a great rest of your day and picking up those twins to make sure. What's the lesson in homeschool today?
I wish I knew because I'm not the teacher. I'm
All right, man. Well, thank you so much, Derek, and we'll talk to you next time.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the DealMachine Real Estate Investing Podcast. Please leave us a review and follow along wherever you're listening to your podcast.